So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dale Miller. He is a veteran in this space, having 12 years of experience, and will be leading the information session about Cox Business Cloud Solutions today. So without further ado, please welcome Dale.
Great, thank you guys for attending. Sheldon, are you going to share your screen, or am I sharing mine?
You can share yours. I think it might be
Okay.
better if you drove. Yeah.
All right, great. What I'm going to do is try and take the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, if you will, to kind of just walk through the product set that Cox Business Cloud Solutions is offering their clients. And hopefully this will give you a good idea, good overview of the different services that we have available on the Cox Business Cloud Solutions side. So if you'll allow me just 1 second here, I'm going to share my screen. And allow me to let me know if you can see it. Can you see that?
We
Got it.
sure
Yep.
can.
Okay, good. So first of all, I just kind of want to give you a quick review of the different services that we have available for you. Okay. So, whoops, sorry about that. So from a standpoint of an overview, we bring to our clients a few different products available to consume. Okay, and we are a managed cloud service provider. So from that perspective, we really focus in and around kind of their infrastructure, in and around the endpoints, in and around security, in and around recovery. And backup and those types of things. So from a standpoint of just kind of reading left to right, no importance of order, just kind of giving you an idea of the different services that we have. One of our products is desktop as a service. And we use technology partners to bring these services to our clients through software and through different intermediaries to be able to bring that service to our client. Okay, all build under Cox Business Cloud Solutions powered by RapidScale. Okay, and so with a desktop as a service, we utilize either Citrix or we utilize VMware as our partner that we bring these services. And just from a high level, desktop as a service allows a customer to be able to have a high-end security product that all their end users, especially for those remote workers, right, and a small IT division, or maybe not even having an IT division, to where you can actually manage the users from a standpoint of putting all the applications that they're going to use all in one place in the cloud, and then the end users actually grab that information from a username and password. All right. And so it's fairly easy to implement, and it enables the actual company to have some security availability to them, to where if you kind of think about proprietary information, you can stop proprietary information from being transferred, being taken with them, those types of things. So I do see you want me to put it in presentation mode. Absolutely, I will. Sorry about that. Let me know if that's better for you.
That's better.
Okay.
Thanks, Dale.
Okay, you got it. All right. So from a server standpoint, you see their server. We offer infrastructure as a service. And what that means is we're going to take the physical servers that are on premise in a customer's location, right? Whether that's one server, two server, three server, or however many servers that they have. And we're going to actually take those and move them into our data centers. So just to give you a quick idea, we have 4 data centers across the country, and we have 2 of them internationally in Irvine, California, Dallas, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, and then Virginia. Getting ready to have one almost completed. Darn COVID kind of slowed us down, but as well as Atlanta. So that'll be our 5th one coming in 2021. And then we also have Hong Kong and the Netherlands as data centers as well. So taking those servers and making them virtual and putting them into our data center, that it would be infrastructure as a service. Okay. And then from a Office 365 standpoint, we're a gold partner with Microsoft. And so being able to offer the Microsoft 365, they just changed the name to Microsoft 365 versus Office 365, but being able to manage that, monitor it, and actually provide the end user support as well. And so if you think about that for a minute, when you have X amount of employees and they might have challenges on the weekend getting into their platform of Microsoft 365 because of username and password type scenarios, or they might even have a problem with one of their applications that are on Microsoft 365, they can call us. We're available 24/7, 365 with our customer service is all US based in Raleigh, North Carolina, as well as Irvine, California. So we kind of follow the sun there and available 24/7 for them. So that's kind of an advantage there from a standpoint of support. All right. From a security standpoint, being able to put with over 90% of the attacks coming in through email, bad links and impersonation emails and those types of things. I'm sure you guys probably personally have seen those. You don't want to click on anything that you don't recognize. But we utilize a partner called Mimecast to be able to do what they call MX record filtering. Okay, so any outbound email gets filtered, any inbound email gets filtered, and actually any email between two employees gets filtered as well. And being able to secure, put another level of security on top of your mail is a big piece that a lot of customers are looking at today to make sure that their company is secure. Okay. And then from a standpoint of backup and recovery, we offer backup for all the data that a company might have, as historically they may have used tapes or whatever the case may be, a thumb drive, those types of things, really not secure, not safe. We actually have an automated scenario with Veeam, Cloud Connect, and Veeam is a technology partner of ours that we actually bring to our clients, to where we take a snapshot of each one of their servers and put that into our data center. We take that every night, and we have retention policies of 14 days, 30 days, whatever the time frame is that is needed from a client. We have multiple ways to be able to save that data as well. And then from a recovery standpoint, we have what's called disaster recovery as a service. Now, disaster recovery as a service is much different than backup. If you have a client that has to be up and running within hours, right, that cannot afford to be down for 2 or 3 hours within a day, that might lead us to doing disaster recovery as a service, where we actually take their equipment and we actually replicate it in our data center continuously, less than a minute of lag time on any changes, right? And then if something happens to their on-site service, flood, fire, if you can imagine somebody stealing the actual servers off of their location, if it crashes, something to that effect, they could be up and running within 4 hours in our data center and run like that for up to 30 days at no extra costs. Okay, from a standpoint of what they pay on a monthly basis. So that's from a recovery standpoint. And there's a lot of customers that'll have maybe a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type system, to where the tier 3 data isn't as important. So maybe we just back up the tier 3 data. Tier 1 and tier 2 data that is very, very crucial to the company's ability to be able to continue to work on a daily basis. We might do disaster recovery as a service, and we use Zerto to be able to replicate all of that service. Then from a standpoint of connectivity, you take a look at the SD-WAN. SD-WAN stands for Software Defined Wide Area Network. What that is that being able to build upon the internet services that we provide, being able to have a smart device at each one of the locations that can prioritize voice, video, be able to put quality of service on top of any of your applications that you run out of your business as well. And so being able to kind of bring a next level, next generation, much smarter router to the customer, and enabling them to utilize virtual firewalls, so that if you can imagine, if you had multiple locations, 2, 3, 4 locations, and you have an IT department that's in one of the locations, and especially if they're in different states, being able to monitor and manage your connectivity, being able to see that the packet loss, or being able to see the health of the circuit, I should say, is a big piece, right, for these administrators to be able to manage their environments, and then being able to see what applications are being run out of their remote locations, and also being able to really tune their network. It really is a big advantage. So SD-WAN is a product that we use with VMware to be able to bring that type of service to our clients as well. A new product that we just launched, didn't even have time because it just came out yesterday. I have time to be able to put it on this slide. Is we actually have managed device as a service as well. And so we are now in the equipment business from a endpoint standpoint. When I say endpoint, I mean laptop, tablet, and Chromebooks. Okay, so today we offer a few choices in that area. If there's more questions about that, happy to answer them. But we actually will put them on a warranty as well as a replacement if they break the laptop, the Chromebooks, or the actual tablets. And then I think one thing that differentiates us from like a CDW or some other companies out there in the marketplace, Dell, we actually replace a device that's lost or stolen as well. And so we kind of go that extra mile to be able to bring that coverage to our clients. All right, all for one monthly payment for a device as a service. So we call that managed device as a service. All right. Then from a standpoint of just kind of examples of services quickly, from a network perspective, SD-WAN would follow under that, or cloud firewalls, management of the network. And again, everything is 24/7, 365 support. And in the server standpoint, we really have a different model than the traditional AWS or Azure. We don't charge any bandwidth for ingress or egress of data. And we actually have a pricing points that we charge on the amount of servers, CPU, RAM, and storage is how we kind of charge. And then we also do OS management on there and antivirus on all the servers as well. Then again, from a backup standpoint, we talked a little bit about it previously, but you have multiple retention points, including 2 weekly full backups. 50% compression is what we is how we calculate the storage on that backup. And then again, all 24/7, 365 support. And then a quick overview again on the email and security, full Microsoft, all the licenses that they offer. And our offering really is priced very competitively. We're a couple bucks more per license to be able to bring you all of that support. Okay, that goes along with Microsoft 365. And then from a standpoint of security on top of email, we do Mimecast. We have multiple bundles with Mimecast as our partner there, anti-spam, antivirus, targeted threat protection. You can see all the different pieces here from a security standpoint. One of the things I wanted to highlight here is the awareness training. There's so many things that could happen. I mean, you know, these attackers can be wrong all the time. We, as end users and protecting our company, can only be wrong once, right? And they could infiltrate the interior of our network and really do some damage. And so they actually offer awareness training, which they use comedy as kind of part of their awareness training, but it gives your employees a monthly, or the customer's employees, a monthly look at ways to be able to look out for challenges that are out there in the marketplace. That's continuously changing and updated. And so they offer those trainings right through the package as well, all videos and those types of things. Okay. Then from a disaster recovery standpoint, what we're doing here is covering all of the servers, the ones that are high priority, and all of the data, right? So that if there is a natural disaster, if a crash happens and your business has to be up and running ASAP, or else it's really going to do financial damage to your company, you really want to look at a disaster recovery service versus a backup service. Okay, if a company can handle being down for a day or two, backup service is just fine. But if not, got to be up and running 24/7. You really want to look at disaster recovery as a service, as well as having with companies today relying more and more on the internet. You really have to focus on your clients to get backup internet as well. So having redundancy around the internet and the connectivity in that space is very important. Okay. The other piece I want to talk to you about from a standpoint of our management model. Okay. A lot of cloud managed service providers historically, or managed service providers, don't give their customers access to their environment, right? Of whatever services that they have with that managed service provider. But at Cox Business Cloud Solutions, we actually give our clients access through a portal. We have a customized portal that gives them access to all of their services. They actually have root level admin access to their actual services that they have with us. So we can bring these services to them, and then the customer doesn't feel like they've lost control. So that if 2 o'clock in the morning they want to go in and they want to make a change, they surely can do that. If they want to go in and if they have infrastructure as a service with us and they want to make a change to their infrastructure some way, somehow, they're more than welcome to be able to go in there for themselves and do that. Now, being co-managed also means that we are available to them via phone call, via email, we just started text, right? SMS messaging. Everybody wants to communicate differently. So we offer all the channels of communication. So they absolutely can go into the portal and put in a ticket as well for a challenge that maybe they're having or a problem that they want fixed. And the great thing I think about our team is that it's full of engineers. And so the way that we really try to stress to our clients is tell us what your problem is and we'll help you fix it. Okay. So being able to really co-manage that environment is really a big differentiator for our services on any one of those services that we covered earlier. All right. So let's talk a little bit about ideal customer. All right. So as you are out there in the marketplace, kind of getting an idea of what you would like to refer, and I'm going to kind of talk in generalities here because every customer is a little bit different, but typically what we see is about 20 employees plus before they're really a candidate for cloud solutions or managed cloud solutions, if you will. Typically, a customer will have limited IT resources. All right. And they might have some compliance requirements or intellectual property they're trying to protect, along with big time security concerns. One thing about the cloud, I think, which is a misnomer, is that it's not secure. It's probably more secure than it is having your data on site at your office. If you really think about where the data is stored in a tier 3 data center, and if you haven't ever had a chance to go to a data center and you get the chance, I would highly recommend it. It really is a cool place to see. And the movies, when they show data centers, they're pretty close to that. And so it is really cool to be able to go see all those servers and all those lights and just the amount of power and the amount of security and the amount of cooling that they do inside of data centers. And so the security in the cloud, which, guys, the cloud is just multiple data centers, right? And so being able to a customer that has security concerns, I would probably say that being in the cloud might be more secure for them. If a customer has multiple locations or they're expanding locations, that's a great ideal customer for us because when you have services in the cloud, it's really a pay for what you use model instead of having to buy big servers and have to plan for 2 or 3 years down the road. You can just pay for what you use as you go and as you grow, if you will. Okay, so really big advantages there. All right. Um, Maybe a server refresh. When customers have on-premise servers, those become older, right? 3 to 5 years, and they're kind of out of service, if you will. Some of them can go longer, no doubt about it, but you're chancing it as you move forward of that server crashing at a non-ideal time frame, right? Right at 10 o'clock in the morning on a busy day. And so anybody who has some equipment that is becoming older and older is a great time to be able to consider and talk about maybe moving to the cloud for some of the services that they need. All right. Struggles with backups or security. I mean, look, there's a lot of companies out there that their IT guy takes a USB stick, sticks it into their server, copies it to that USB stick. If you can imagine this, takes it, puts it in their pocket, takes it home with them, right? And then comes back the next day, does it again, goes home, does it again. He might throw it in his car. And if you can imagine in July, what happens, right? It's super hot. And so it's just not a very good plan to have to take and manually back up and manually take data outside of your business. Security risks and those types of things are there. So being able to have it automated and have it be able to transverse a secure line into another data center that is very secure is a much better way to be able to do that. Okay. These days with COVID and the pandemic and the new way as we were talking about earlier, being able to have remote access, right? historically the security was within the walls of the company, right? Easier to handle. Now we're talking about going out into the world outside of those walls. So IT administrators are really having a tough time understanding how they're able to protect all this. Bring your own device type environments. I'm sure the companies you work for, you can bring your own device in a lot of different ways. So being able to protect the company, right, from an administrative standpoint is high priority for these companies. All right. And then anybody who, as they move forward, as you guys may or may not know, that the business itself is relying on IT to actually produce revenue for them, figure out ways to market faster, be able to get customers quicker, and be able to drive business and drive revenue. And so IT professionals are looking at ways, and IT administrators are looking at ways to offload some of these mundane day-to-day and managing the blinking lights type environment. And that's where we can come in and help them and be able to manage those services for them so that they can focus on ways to be able to move their company from a strategic standpoint, move their company along in the way that they can help the business continually grow. All right. Last slide here. I'm not trying to kill you with slides. This is the last one here. So I want to be able to kind of just give you an idea of some different compelling events that kind of happen out there in the marketplace that you may want to look out for. Instead of giving you a bunch of different questions that you can ask to your clients, I want to just kind of have you start thinking in regards to what's the business impact, right? How do we find a problem that's happening in the business and then turn around and be able to solve it? Okay, so a lot of our cloud services are in and around some of these different points here. I'm going to walk through a few of these with you, and as you can see on the screen here, there's multiple, but I kind of want to walk through a couple of them. So a compelling event, right? Their hardware is at the end of life or a refresh, 3 to 5 years down the road, right? They would be able to have a positive increased probability of service interruptions or failures if the equipment is getting older. I should say a negative. That's a negative on the company, not a positive. But there might be, because the servers are slower because they're older, might have a lot of end user productivity slow down, right? And to buy new hardware, if you can imagine, it's a large capital expenditure. Whereas with cloud, again, it's a operational expense, and they're going to pay a monthly fee each month for it. Okay, so problem with security breaches. You probably hear about it in the news all the time about these different security breaches. Talk about ransomware. You talk about impersonation attacks. That's all about lost revenue, right? Not only at the forefront of lost revenue, but from trust and credibility in the marketplace of your company and people giving you data. If they hear that there's a security, it's typically, if somebody steals all your data, it could be the end of your company for you. So very big time piece in regards to security breaches, loss of productivity, reputation damage, like I'm talking about, loss of customers, of course. All right. Talking about disaster recovery, DR solutions, disaster recovery. So if somebody had a recent outage at their business and they just didn't have a plan, they had to wait and could try to figure out what happened. And maybe they had a flood, maybe they had a fire overnight. I mean, those things happen. And so being able to have a disaster recovery plan in place prior to a disaster happening can save the company thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to have that plan in place, right? Recent changes, right? COVID-19, right? Remote workforce. Talked earlier about expanding that security blanket from the company business inside the building to all over the world, right? Some of the big benefits of cloud, though, is that you now no longer have to worry about just a local workforce. I mean, if you talk to employers today, they're really thinking about, wow, this is really an advantage. Now I can grab talent, right, to work for my company from all over the country, maybe even all over the world, because it's becoming more and more acceptable to do these types of events and these types of meetings. And companies are finding that the productivity is not dropping drastically, right, for some parts of the business. Okay. And so there are positives, there are negatives, but maybe their current provider is not doing well for them, right? There's poor customer experience. Maybe overbilling is happening. We have conversations about that all the time. And again, aging hardware. And so changing at that point is a great time to consider maybe some managed cloud services as well. Growth of companies, mergers, acquisitions, right? They need to scale rapidly. Customers that are in a merger and acquisition phase, they want to be able to buy it, make sure that they're all on the same applications, make sure that they're all on the same services, so that when they do buy up these companies, at least from a technology standpoint, they're all operating off of the same type of systems and same type of applications. And so being in the cloud can allow you to be able to scale very quickly. All right. And so with that, from a high level to that's it. Sheldon, I think I'll turn it back over to you, sir. If there's any questions or anything on top of that, I'll be happy to answer those.
Yeah, I think we did have a question. Phyllis, did you want to grab that
Yes,
one?
we did. We did have a question come through, and I appreciate that. Fred wants to know, can you tell us what product is used for the antivirus?
Oh, we have, boy, good question, Fred. I appreciate that. And I can't think of what it's called right now. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm really sorry. I just can't remember what antivirus we're using today. An anti-malware partner we're using, just off the top of my head, darn it. Sorry about that, Fred. I'll have to send that back to you.
We will get it added in.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And right now we don't have any more questions, but I'm noticed that we're about to run out of time too.
Yep.
So Sheldon, I'm going to turn it back over. Dale, you did an awesome job and I do appreciate that. Sheldon, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis. And Dale, thanks again for all the great information. To everybody on this call, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. We wanted to give you some high-level information about Cox Business Cloud Solutions. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We will take care of and definitely will get you any information you need in order to be successful in referring Cox Business Cloud Solutions.